Finally, I have in hand the Byredo Bibliophilia Eyeshadow Palette. This is Library Mood inspired. This palette has 18 richly pigmented shades with a mix of neutrals, warm tones, and bold statement pops. So in today's video, I'll share with you swatches, we're going to create a couple of looks, and I will also share some comparisons with you. Over on the community tab here on YouTube, I asked, hey, what would you like to see this compared to? So we will do those comparisons per your request. All the details, all the things. Let's get into it, shall we? So bibliophilia, love of books, library themed. Very interesting. I'm very curious to unbox and share this with you. So I haven't opened it yet. Let's just get right on into it. Here she is. Packaging is just like all of the other Byredo larger palettes. So let's open together. Ooh. It's so beautiful. Look at her. And as mentioned, we've got a mix of neutrals, coppers, browns, pops of red and gold. Byredo shadows are known for soft pigment with a modern buildable finish. I have truly enjoyed all of my other Byredo palettes. There have been a few that I've hit pan on. I enjoy and I look forward to these because I know I'll always get a color story that I'll enjoy. This color story, yes, it may be to some a little more basic. I did get a little bit of mixed feedback on this. Some people were like, oh, yawn, boring. Some people were like, ooh, exciting. Some people were like, oh, they've done this 1,000 times before. I mean, there's plenty of brands we could talk about have done things 1,000 times before, but I think the approach to this color story, it's definitely approachable, wearable, something you'll want to use, but I don't know. Let's find out. Let's swatch, details, all the things, yes? Packaging, it's mirrored, so you're going to get your little fingerprints, your little grubby paws all over it, but it cleans up very, very easily. It's not too bulky. Opening it up, you do have a little magnetic closure. When you open it up, this is as far back as it will open, and you do have a really nice, large mirror. Really good quality as well. Take a look, see? Nice, high quality mirror there. Let's swatch, shall we? Really nice, smooth. Some of them you could feel a little bit of more texture to them because they had a little bit more shimmer, but overall pigmented, smooth, and swatched really nice. But always remember, swatches only give you a part of the story. Let's create a couple of looks, shall we? I've got a big old fluffy brush here. This is the Sonia G Detail Pro brush. Let's start off, and let's start off with this shade right here. Not getting much kick up. There's a little, but nothing overwhelming the palette. So that's good. Tap the excess, and I'm just going to fluff this right throughout the crease. outer eye area. Soft and pretty kind of vibes, okay? For me, when I'm going for my everyday look, the easier, the better. But of course, I still want to look like I tried. I don't have on any other makeup right now because I figured we'd do some looks. We might get some fallout, and then we'll pull everything together. So, and then as always, I'll have everything listed and linked down below. So I only went in one time, and that fluffed in nicely. Gave a soft little bit of definition on the eye, not too much. Beautiful. This definitely would be great for a one and done. Yeah, I think so. All right, so that was that first shade. Now let's go in for a little, we need a little bit more depth, just a touch. So let's tap into this here. Wow, I'm not getting much kick up. That's great. And I'm really pushing that brush in there. Getting product. Nice. All right, so this I'll focus more on the outer eye. And then slightly blend in the crease, not too much. I have here an Esam W21. I want to go into this shade here. Just gonna pack that on. And I'm gonna place this on the inner corner. Nice and bright. And I put this before I put on the lid shade. For my lid shade, I'm going to take my finger and let's go into this one right here. Look at that. It's like a golden, but it's like a golden silver. I can't really explain this color. It's very beautiful. And this, we're going to put on the lid. Did I say every day? Maybe this is a little bit more than every day. It's glamorously every day. Is that better? Wow, that lid shade is gorgeous. It is like golden, but it kind of gorgeous. I'm going to take that E21. There's no product. I just want to perfect the lid shade and blend that inner with it. Nice. Very smooth and nice. Back into that big old fluffy brush and just blend it. I'm going to retouch that inner corner shade just a little. Hi. I went into this saying I wanted this to be my everyday look, but it took a turn. But it's still nice. And I like the way these shadows went on the lid. We had just a little touch of fallout. Not too bad. Nothing to really complain, you know. Some of these shades, it's to be expected because of their glitters and such. But for the most part, and for the amount of glitters and such, it was very smooth going on the lid and not that bad with the fallout. So there's our fun first look. Now, this next look, let me really try to make it a little more soft, everyday wearable, yeah? I'm gonna go into this shade right here. Yeah, there's like very little kick up, and I'm like really digging in there. You can see. It's a little bit of kick up. This, let's just blend on the crease, outer eye. I'm using this super big old fluffy brush so it's diffused, it's soft, it's easy. Thank you. I'm going to go back in, build it up a bit. With the W21, let's go in with this for the lid shade. I'm just going to pat this nice and soft. That's what I was trying to do with the first look, but then I got excited for the glitter. I couldn't help myself. I'm just going to continue to pack that on the lid. Yeah, soft. That's very much more the everyday kind of soft, natural-esque vibe, right? But we do want a little sparkle. So let's go in to the shade right here. Just a touch. Not too much. Let's not get carried away like I did on the other look. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Very pretty. Just a little. It's very fair to say that these first two looks are very safe. Very, and even though this one has more sparkle, glimmer, shimmer, it's still very approachable. You don't feel intimidated in any way. You do feel you could wear it at any time, any place. And then this one, yeah, hello, every day, no questions. And the fun part is you could change that inner corner to anything. You can go lighter, you can do none, just do a little wing liner, mascara, beautiful. And they went on very easily, blended very nicely, nice and creamy, and not a bit of fallout, really. Other than this one, because of the sparkle. This one I have none. All right, I'm excited. I'm definitely going to get into the more. We wanted to play it safe and say, hey, can I wear this a little more than just on the occasion? So I wanted to do something like, you know, a little more approachable. But now let's create some looks. Looks. So those first two looks were safe. Okay, basic as basic gets. Let's have some fun, yeah? Okay. I am going to take my Detail Pro and let's go into this shade right here. Little kick up, but I'm not complaining. Let's blend this. Nice and fluffy. I want that diffused wash, if you will. And go back in. Build up on the outer eye a bit. And blend. Look at that. That's why I love this brush. It just gives that diffused wash of color. Nice. I'm going to go into this shade right here. This one looked really pretty. So I want to just pack this on the beginning portion of my lid. Ooh. It's very creamy. As I'm pressing the brush in, it's very creamy in the pan. There we go. You can probably see a little better there. See, it looks very creamy. That's nice. And it's going on really nicely. Wow. The last time I had a red-ish eyeshadow like this was in my Valentino. Yeah, and I like that. I used that a ton. All right. That's cool. I'll just clean this brush off. And then let's go into this shade right beside it. It's a little bit deeper. This one, it's not as creamy as this one. You can see it's not as creamy, but it's still creamy. I'm going to put on the outer eye. And then I'll blend and meld the two colors together. Now what I'll do is turn the brush around to the clean side and meld these two colors together so there's no harshness. For inner corner, I want to try this. Or do I want that? Yeah, let's go with this one. Just a touch, because it's already beautiful on its own. I don't know how to describe this look, but it's fun. It's kind of fiery, if you will. Look at that. And all the shades were nice and creamy. There was not a moment that I felt stressed blending these two reds together. They came out beautiful. Okay, let's continue. Let's keep on with the more, if you will. So, Detail Pro, let's go into this shade right here. I'm gonna blend this on my outer eye. Gonna build and blend. Now I'm going to take this fluffy brush. This is from my SL Miss Glam little collection that I shared with you recently. I'm going to go into this shade right here. I know we just used it, but I liked the way it looks, so let's go into that. And this, I'm going to focus directly in the crease. I'm going to build and blend it. Yeah, those two colors together are very, very nice. Very, very nice. Now with the good old tool that never leaves, let's go into this shade. This feels like the dark of the reds. This is the most bronzy burgundy, if you will. Because if you look at these two that we just used, you'll see. These are more red, like crimson, and then this is giving like a bronzy red kind of vibe. See? This is the one we're going to use, and these are the two we just used. W21, let's go into the red. Let's go into this shade right here. And this will be the inner corner shade, nice and red and pretty. Ooh. Yeah. Never have I ever. Again, there was only one other time I've worn like red eyeshadows like this, and that was my Valentino. But these are fun. These are gorgeous. And then I will say that these are definitely time and place. So that's 4 looks so far. I've got one more for you. I think I saved the best for last. I'm really excited about this color. So makeup is done. Westman Atelier foundation, IT Cosmetics concealer, my Sicily rosy powder, everything. There's more. Dior blush. Everything's gonna be listed and linked down below if you're curious. Now, I have not touched this color on purpose in the palette because I'm so excited to create a look like specifically for it. So I am going to take that fluffy brush, cleaned it off the best I could. But I want to go into this dark shade right here with it. And that, ooh, look at that. We're going to tap that. I'm going to start on my outer eye with that. Now I am using this fluffy brush so I can go in very diffused, very soft, but not as blown out as it would be with this brush that we've been using. So I'm just going to build to, I get to where I want to be with that. And that's kind of how I like working with really dark shades so that you don't feel too intimidated too quickly. Just going to blend this in the crease, whatever's left. Our big old fluffy brush. Let's tap into the shade right beside it. And then we'll use this to diffuse the edges and blend into the crease. With the W21, I'm going to go into that shade as well on the lower lash. With my Hindash eye pencil, this is a really pretty brown, but it's nice and dark and rich. I think this is going to go nicely, so I'm going to put that. Lid shade, we're going in with the W23 from Esam. And let's go into this shade right here. I have been dying to go into this shade. It's so pretty. Look at that. And this, like the red, it's very creamy. Very, very creamy on the brush, to the touch. It's just, you could feel the difference in the formula with that. So, this all over the lid. Ooh. Yup. Yes, please, and thank you. And I love that I don't have any fallout. Of these two, this one's a bit more golden, so I want to go in with this one. Wow. This is what I was looking for. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's do some mascara. So we did 5 looks with the palette. She did good. And here's what she looks like now that we've used her, swatched her, dug our brush in her. But reality is a lot of these shades are going to be one and dones. A lot of these shades I use 1 and 2 or sometimes 3, but yeah, beautiful. Very nice formula. Very Byredo. Per your request from the community tab post, I pulled 3 NATASHA DENONAs. I need a nude, I need a warm, and sunrise. There are just tones in here I feel we want to check out and see. And then I have all of my other Byredo palettes. Some of these I don't use anymore because they're old, but I have held on to them for moments like this. Do we have repeats? Did they just take from the old and put in the new? Let's see. All right, so I've condensed the Byredo palette right here. So now we can do our comparisons and such. I don't know. All right, here's Stone, Fair, Mesh, and Tender. These are kind of like grays-esque, but they're not as gray as these. Okay. No. Even like this and this, they're no. Whisper, L, Travertine, and Delilah. Let's try those. Okay. Nothing yet. Silhouette, Mousse, and Filigree. And then let's go into Sheen. Okay. Gorgeous. Yeah, no. All right, so these are from the NATASHA DENONA I Need a Nude in comparison to this Byredo. Let's check out I Need a Warm. Let's see what we've got going on here. They are side by side. I don't immediately see anything, but let's still swatch and see. So let's go into Soft Spot. This special shade. This one shifts, so I don't know. Vim, Fervor. Always remember, if you have any more requests for me as far as like swatch comparisons, let me know and I'll post them on the community tab so you can see them. All right, let's go into Pep, Hanker, and Flashover. And then for like the sparkly shades from the Byredo, let's try Fancy, Elm, Snug, Plush. Yeah, let's see what those are all about. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I was trying to see what we had to compare with that one and this one, but so the I Need a Warm is right here. Nothing's yet jumping out at me, you know what I mean? Similar color stories, but not exacts so far. These reds, okay, I need to know. So here's Sunrise. I've got Poppy, Flokes, I think that's how you pronounce that one. And then, what was it? And then I'm going to do Azalea. Just because I feel like this kind of could look like the one on my lid. I don't know. So these are from NATASHA DENONA. Here are the Byredos. Oh, only one. Only one. Hold on. Shade Flox, PHLOX from the Sunrise. Look at that. It's like this one from the Byredo. These are very similar. These right here are very similar. These tones are very different, but these two are very similar. The other ones, no. But yeah, okay. Swatching all of these, I feel like I've only found one that's worthy of saying, yeah, that's very similar. Now we need to know, did Byredo take anything from their older palettes and put them in the new? So we're going to start off with Remembrance. Thoroughly enjoyed this palette. Like, oh my days, gorgeous. Very different beside each other, you can tell, but swatch them nonetheless. The silvers from this palette were so much more intense. This one is a little bit more chunky. This one was a lot more smooth, but the silvers from this Remembrance palette was a lot more intense than the ones in this one. Noted. This color story was a lot softer, more pinky. That's why I love this one so much. Yeah. Flora Kalahari. Let's see what this one's all about. In the Flora Kalahari, right away, these two shades are kind of the reddish, and this one, but let's see. I'm looking at the reddish shade, and even that's different. I'm happy to report I don't feel we have any, you know, repletes, duplicates, if you will. Let's check out Mineralscapes. This was a good one. Definitely loved on this one a lot. Thoroughly enjoyed this color story too. Those blues, those greens, but they were like in such a wearable way. Yeah. We're all swatched out, yes. Now with this palette, you definitely get a lot of colors that are wearable, but you also have some colors that are not as wearable. And there's plenty of people that will absolutely despise red eyeshadow. It's like, what? Why? But that's not to say that you still can't get good use out of the palette, but just reality. This color story is not going to appeal to everyone. When I first shared the palette, you guys gave me your feedback and said, this looks the same. This is boring. This is blah. Yeah. Yeah, but the reality is a lot of boring palettes are what we use the most, and that's fine, you know, whereas it's just a little darker, a little lighter, but that's kind of the go-to. But I do like that they threw in some, you know, a little fun with the red and then the shade I'm wearing on my lid now. But overall, quality, consistency, pigmentation, blendability, all of that is there in this Bibliophilia eyeshadow palette. I think overall it's a fun concept, especially if you love your neutrals mixed with a little bit of warmth and then little touch of pop. But I definitely want to hear what you guys think. Let's talk about it. Comment down below. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. Thank you as always for spending your time with me today. Take a moment and give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Stay beautiful, guys. I will see you very, very soon.